All guests do not state or reflect those of the company, its management, sponsors, or any entities they represent.
Oh, it's lit. We prime time. Subscribe, like, and share. Give us your feedback. Yo, I'm Manny at the plate and Kobe off of steel. Gretzky for the goal and Brady at the wheel. I'm a game changer, the Osaka of the tennis. And breaking scoreboard, Simone of the Olympics. Defense and big business, the Mayweather who way better. From the greatness of Jim Brown, I've been down. Talking sports before I was off the porch. Screaming Bo knows while Jordan was playing horse. Late 80s getting torched by the drive and the shot. 2016 got a ring off the 3 in the block. They eased to forgot. Years, Price and Doherty. Bale in the Indian years. This who it is. DeeTrynt, yo, that's a name. Talks. It's really good. You know, you're gonna always do that. So it is sports time, you diggy, and it's combine weekend, right? NFL combine going down in Indianapolis. Started on Thursday. Now we are on to Sunday. And today's event will feature the offensive lineman. You'll get to rate, your favorite offensive lineman, right? Yesterday, Saturday, the last day of February, it was the quarterbacks, receivers, and running backs. And the day before that, it was make sure I get this right. The day before that, it was the defensive backs and the tight ends. And on Thursday, to start it off, it was the D linemen and the linebackers. This combine has been interesting, right? I haven't sat down and watched it live. I caught all my stuff on replay. But I definitely was going through as much as I could to see, how some of the people stacked up, right? And when I watched the combine, I looked to see if what you do in the drills complements what you put on film, right? The combine can't tell me who you are, right? It can only tell me, like, are you who I think you are? Or, okay, this makes sense now, right? Because you'll watch some film of a player and you'll see him do something that you don't regularly used to seeing them doing. You like, damn. Or you will see him show flashes of certain traits, and you'll be like, damn, I wonder if you could really do that. But it depends on like how agile you are, how fast you are, how fast you think on your feet. You know what I mean? Your ability, period. And you get to the combine and see like, okay, dude look twitchy, and then he run that cone drill, and it's like, oh, dude is twitchy. Or it be like, it look like dude be getting off, and then he get there and that cone drill suck, and you like, well, how was you juking? So now you gotta look at the players you were juking, right? Because context matters. I'm a different type of playmaker on offense if I like plays against the top 10, 15 defensive players in the draft versus if my highlight tape is
of the bottom 10 or 15 defensive players in the draft, right? Because the bottom 10 or 15 probably not getting drafted. So you better than them, but is you good enough for these elite talents? Can you make moves on the guys who got possibly the same athletic gifts as you? You know what I'm saying? Um, but it's an exciting time for a lot of people. What happens during the combine? Everybody get to talk. All 32 teams are in one place, represented by one quality ranking official or another, and everybody passing notes. Right? What's up? What y'all looking for? What we doing? Who trying to do what? You know what I mean? With that being said, man, let's do some introductions, man. DeeTrynt, Game Changer Sports Talk, Industry Sports, streaming on multiple social media platforms, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. Follow us on IG at Industry Sports or at DeeTrynt. If you missed the live streams, you can catch the replays on Spotify and various other streaming platforms. Just look for the Industry Sports channel, like, subscribe, share, follow. Once you get in there, you will see Game Changer Sports Talk with yours truly, DeeTrynt. And for all who don't know, I rep the Browns. Browns. I rep the Browns. Browns. Like, whoa. And it was funny about I'm catching a Uber the other day. Yesterday. Or the other day. One of the days. I end up getting robbed by this New Yorker. Yeah, I fucks with New Yorkers, right? For what? You can always tell, well, for me, I can always distinguish the New York accent from like the Boston accent, right? Because the Boston accent, I feel like got a little Italian to it, right? Where that New York accent more like it's got more like a gutter to it. Like, you feel me? That's the way I hear it. It's hard for me to explain. But anyway, so guys, we talking sports, dude. Like, what's your team? And I'm like, Cleveland. He said, man, I'm sorry. Man, listen, as a Browns fan, right, you be upset and appreciative all at the same time. Like, hey, man, don't be disrespecting my team like that. But your team be doing BS, right? So outside of you and your fellow fan base mates who love the team and look at the intricate details, people on the outside, they don't see it like that. You know what I'm saying? So when we get chopping it, you know what I mean? And I was letting him know, like, hey, I'm a Cleveland fan everywhere, right? What's your basketball team? The Cavs. What's your baseball team? The Guardians. And who your college team? Ohio State Buckeyes. What we talk about? You feel me? Who you now see, I ain't gonna lie though. On the hockey side though, I want to rep the Blue Jackets, you in Ohio. So of course the Blue Jackets is you feel me? But I fucks with the Knights. I like Las Vegas. I like Vegas. So on that side, I probably like the one team that I'm outside of the state initially. I do like the Vegas Knights, but the Vegas Knights a new team. They only been around like Vegas been around like maybe 8 years now. It's like 8 seasons now. So I started at the beginning type game. But yeah, we talking baseball, and he a Mets fan, and you know what I mean, and he's like, hey, what about the the Indians? And I'm like, nah, I ain't gonna lie, I don't like the Indian name. I don't. You know what I'm saying? And I've been said this, like, I don't like the fact that they didn't take time to really come up with a name, a color scheme, and a brand. Don't get me wrong, that G, this is for the G's and this is for the hustlers. This is for the hustlers, not back to the G's. Like, that G lightweight nice. But I know that They just found a name that fit, so they didn't have to change the colors, and it was a rush job. Um, Luckily though, over the next season and a half, or next 2 years, somewhere over the next 2-3 years, because this 2026, right? So you got to finish 26, 27, and then somewhere between now and 28, um, the Guardians, Cleveland's baseball team should be getting some new ownership, majority ownership, man. I think that ownership is going to invest in the team. Hopefully, they don't pull the Browns and move the team to a different part of the city. But I ain't gonna lie. It's probably not a bad idea. That's a whole nother conversation, though. I'm just randomly chopping it. Let's get back to why we came here, though. So, NFL scouting combine, all 32 teams in the same spot, and they trying to figure out who gonna do what. So, um, refreshing time, right? Uh, Kevin Stefanski being at the combines, you hear little. I understood why Kevin Stefanski treated the media the way he did. Most people don't, right? But just quick summary, because they ain't about the right things. You know what I'm saying? It's more about their ego than giving the fans the proper information so they can support the team. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, when you have situations like that, it makes things hard. You know what I mean? So, uh, but Todd Monken has been what most of us will call a breath of fresh air. Um, you know, I think for me personally, I grew up on John Madden, right? And I didn't grow up on John Madden, the football coach. I grew up on John Madden, the game commentator, the color commentator. And John Madden's way of explaining the game, of breaking it down. So for those who, all wonder like why John Madden football is so why everybody love it so much. If you didn't witness the man John Madden, you probably won't understand. If you're not a football fan and you didn't witness John Madden, you probably don't understand. But his way of breaking the game down and simplifying, so you could understand who's doing what, why they doing it. It was just amazing. And Todd Monken gives that feel when he's talking, when he has been talking to the media about his new role as head coach for the Cleveland Browns. He gives you straightforward answers. He cuts out all the nonsense. He's not letting you throw in these little, we ain't doing that. Right? And one thing he is facetious on, though, is who is he willing to take with his first pick ever, right? And I think that has to be something that is considered when we're talking about who the Browns are going to draft with this number 6 overall pick. All right. It does the GM Andrew Berry no justice to bring in a guy that you are on record saying you really liked and not allowing this 60-year-old man, and no offense, I don't say that to his age as a disrespect. I say it as an emphasis, right? This man been in the league doing great for decades. This man is in his 6th decade of living. And it's his first time being a head coach for a sport that he loves. Bruh, whoever we get at 6 is who Todd Monken wanted. Because ultimately, his reputation as a head coach is going to be associated with his very first pick ever in that position. So regardless of what the Browns need, what people think is best, I think that part has to be considered heavily. This that man first pick. He's an offensive coach. It Hey, I gotta assume, right? Um, we're going offense. But as a football mind, and him being a football mind and understanding that him going offense would be the obvious choice. He could go best player available. You know why? Because Cleveland is still building a championship team. And when you're building a championship team, when you picking in the top 10, you draft Hall of Fame players in the top 10. Let's not sugarcoat this. Whoever you drafted in the top 10, your expectation is that they turn into a Hall of Famer and they be with your franchise for their entire career. This is why you picked them in the top 10. So regardless of position, that number 6 pick has to be a game changer. People gonna say, "Oh, we gotta do this and we gotta do this," and I understand. Picking for need is a bad thing unless you're in a position to pick for need, right? If you are a Super Bowl contending team already and you've already shown that in your previous season, and you're a lineman away, that makes sense. If you got all these spectacular weapons on offense and you just need a quarterback, that makes sense. But when you building something, and that ain't to say the Browns don't got no stellar players on their team. Like, we got some dogs, but you get the best players you can at all times. So me coming into the draft, right, leading up to it, I'm saying we gotta take Carnell Tate. We need a receiver. We gotta take Carnell Tate, right? And I still want Tate. Make no mistake. Ideally, we take Tate at 6 because I think he's worth a top 6 pick. But I also still don't think he's going to be on the board at 6. And I want to say this too, right? Because I always believe this, and we, anybody, we can go back and fact check, right? This is how I always feel. When you have a draft that's dominated by the defense, those top offensive players are usually nice. You hear me? Nice. Because these were the top offensive players going against these top defensive players. If this guy has film and he's rated and his combine showed that he probably nice. So this is where I feel like Tate nice. Jeremiah Love nice. Fernando Mendoza, that's his name. He nice. I don't know if he number 1 overall pick nice, but he nice. Right? Spencer Fano, nice. Ruben Bain Jr., nice. Caleb Downs, nice. I ain't gonna even lie. I slept on David Bailey. I'm gonna come. Let me tell y'all. When I in the beginning of this process, I said, man, I don't know. I think David Bailey overrated. I still think I I ain't saying like I'm all the way off it, but I done seen enough evidence to say he got potential. He one of those guys that needs to end up in the right place. And he could probably be a Dwight Freeney. Dude run a 4.5 40 as a defensive tackle. I mean, as a defensive end at like 260. Bruh. He run a 4.5 40. That's wild. So, and he produced only 1 year. which is one of those things that had me like, all right, there y'all go with the one hit wonder game. But he lightweight showed up at the combine. He showed up. You know what I'm saying? He did enough for me to be like, he got potential. He got way more potential than I thought he had. So David Bailey might be nice. Makai Lemon nice. Jordan Tyson nice. But I don't see Jordan Tyson as the top 6 player in this draft. I don't see Makai Lemon as the top 6 player in this draft, but I know he nice. I know he one of the top receivers, but I also know he gonna play slot, and I don't know what slot receiver goes in the top 10. Like when you go top 10, you just gotta be a dog. And don't be one of them like Ronnie Brown type dogs, right? And what I mean by this is Ronnie Brown was a running back at Auburn, and he played behind a guy named Carnell Williams, Carnell Cadillac Williams. Cadillac Williams was a fucking beast in college. Dog. And Ronnie Brown was the backup. But nobody knew Ronnie Brown was nice until like they last couple years, and Ronnie Brown came and subbed in for him, and you like, this the backup? Almost remind you of Thurman Thomas and Barry Sanders at Oklahoma State. Like, Barry the backup? Yeah, because Thurman nice with it. You feel me? But you gotta be, you gotta be fired in that top 10. And Carnell Tate gonna play outside. He nice. Makai Lemon, like I say, he is slot though, so I don't know about him going in the top 10. Jordan Tyson, man, that injury history combined with coming to the Browns is not a good recipe. That's my whole thing. If you was an Iron Man, cool. If you just had that one little standoff, little hamstring or something, then I have seen the reports that said, it was a few games towards the end of the season where he could have played, but a lot of the rest of the good players was hurt too. So it wasn't no point of risking his future for some games that he ain't gonna really be able to compete in. And if that's the case, I commend the coaches and them for allowing that man to have a future. Flat out. Hey, bro, you got some injury concerns? Look, let's not go ahead and risk you more injuries. Let's go ahead and get you all the way healthy. Get ready for your next level. So if he used to a lot of like soft tissue stuff, hamstrings and little muscle pulls and stuff, then I'm hoping he got into some stretching and yoga and some Pilates. That stuff helps, man, because you move in parts of your body that you don't even realize you need when you doing all athletic stuff. You know what I'm saying? You push, you hitting the weights, you hitting the drills. You need that. It seems feminine. I bet it do. But you need those, those little workouts, man. They help keep the body healthy, offset. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I done drifted. Browns 6, top 10 period though, right? Like I say, I don't think Tate gonna be there because, and more background on why I don't think Tate gonna be there. The Raiders, I don't know if the Raiders take Fernando Mendoza 1. I'm sorry, y'all. I just don't think Mendoza should be going 1. Oh, the Raiders need a quarterback. Okay, well, guess what? Malik Willis is a free agent. Anthony Richardson is available for trade acquisition. And it's a couple other young guys. if they just want a young quarterback, you don't necessarily gotta take Mendoza. I heard somebody give him a player comparison to Sam Bradford, and that scares me. Don't get me wrong though. Sam Brady was a dog, though. Arm talent was. Sammy could sling it with the best of them. He could sling it. Sling it. You hear me? He could almost Kurt Warner type sling it. But every starting quarterback isn't a game changer. And, you know, a lot of these organizations believe that your quarterback should be a game changer. He got to be a bona fide game changer. Your quarterback just got to run the offense. What offense are you running? You know what makes your offense? The playmakers. And you can have playmakers that do things, but you got to have that one bona fide guy on your offense to make your system work, whether that's a running back, a receiver, a tight end, whatever it is. You need a playmaker, a guy who does something with the ball in the field of play. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know about Mendoza going one though. I think Spencer Fano could go one because I argue that the Raiders need linemen, right? The Raiders need linemen. The Giants need linemen. The Titans need linemen, right? But also, the Raiders got Ashton Genty. They got Brock Bowers. They got Trey Hunter. Trey. Wow, I gotta get his name. So I could argue they could use a receiver, right? They need a receiver. The Giants need a receiver. The Titans need a receiver. Like these all teams that pick before the Browns. Yeah, some defensive players out there that's fire. You know what I'm saying? Arvell Reese, Sonny Styles. Sonny Styles just showed out at the combine. All right. 6'5", 240. Like, so, and then you gotta think this too. Um, the defensive players in this draft is fire, bro. I ain't gonna hold you. Like, I think the defensive class this year is outrageously deep in the first like 150, right? I'm saying like all the defensive players inside that top 150, I think 80 to 85% of them have a chance of being a regular starter or playing multiple years in the NFL. Minus any injuries that and hopefully nobody gets injured, right? That ain't realistic, but but I think this defensive class is deep in the front, like it's front loaded. Um, the off and me saying that, thinking about the Sonny Styles show out, thinking about David Bailey show out, or how Arvell Reese tested. Um, you know, and then everybody didn't even test at this one. You still got college pro days where some of the top guys only want to go work out at their home base. Bruh. Like the top 10 could go all defense and nobody would bat an eye. Right? Like real shit. Like real. The top 10 could go all defense. All right. You got Bang Jr. from Miami. You got the David Bailey from Texas Tech. You got Caleb Downs, Sonny Styles, Arvell Reese. You got the corner, McCord, because I think he fire. You got and all we did together was fuss and fight. When now I see the truth. I didn't mean that to you. That's something I'm involved into on the offside. I'm trying to see me and you. When you don't really love me like you say. Boom. So you got Akeem Messador. Fire. They got him ranked 15th, but he raw. Jamal McCoy. That's the cornerback from Tennessee. That's nice. Mansour Delane, the other cornerback they got, he nice too, but I lightweight think McCoy might be kind of nicer than him. And then you got these defensive tackles, and all I'm saying is, bruh. So it's what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 13 of the top 25 players on this board. No, 14 of the top 25 players is defense. 14 of the top 25. So that means only 11 is on offense. And 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of them are guards. I mean, 4 of them are offensive linemen. I ain't gonna call everybody guards because I think Spencer Fano and Lamu are actually real tackles. But so that leaves 7, right? Of the 11 offensive players, that leaves 7 of them to be at skill position, and one of them is a quarterback, the only quarterback in the top 25, right? So that leaves 6 position players. That means Jeremiah Love, Jordan Tyson, Carnell Tate. Damn, Denzel Boston that moved up the board. Denzel Boston, Makai Lemon. Them yo offensive threats. Right? Only 6. And this is why I could see a run of offensive players lead the top 10. Even though I know I just said you could see it go all top 10 because the defense is so deep and the offense is so limited, that might put a lot of GMs in a mind state of, if I need an offensive player, I need to take him now. Because the more I push that this being pushed back to defensive players, the more likely you can get trades circulating for players trying to make moves, because you're going to get a lot of redundancy on defense. He may not be this caliber or level, but he's still impactful. And depending on what type of defensive scheme you run or how you run your farm system or your backups, your developmental, that guy may just be the right fit. You know what I'm saying? So again, with the picks, right? You got You got Raiders at 1. I could see the Raiders going to offensive player. Clint Kubiak is this is first. You feel me? Stop streaming on my block. What? I stream on any block. I don't make me pull your 32 crib blue. Man, what it do though? Hey, so the Raiders, Clint Kubiak, man, he a first time head coach. He just won a Super Bowl as an offensive coordinator. He just turned Sam Bradford into a dog. I mean, not Sam Bradford. He just turned Sam Darnold into an animal, right? That's the legacy he going off of. So, okay, Mendoza could go 1, but do he love Mendoza? Is that the guy he looking at, or is that the one just on the? You think I play? You about to see what popping up in here? You feel me? You very young. Ah, shit. I love it, man. I'm outside. You already know. I'm outside. So, I don't know. Will he take Tate? He's not gonna take a running back because Genty fire. So would he take Tate? Would he take Lemon? I don't know. Would he take Tyson? I don't know. You know what I mean? But you're not gonna take Jeremiah Love. So this is where I'm like, man, they could go because the Raiders don't got no offensive line. They line lightweight trash. You feel me? I'm talking about they line lightweight suspect. So I could see Spencer Fano going 1. I said that. But I see Caleb Lemieux is really moving up draft boards. So, maybe he might sneak up. It's always that one player that go higher than everybody expected. Then you go to the Jets, right? And this is just me talking about how offensive players could be off the board by the time the Browns pick at 6, right? The Jets, right? Who do they have? You got now. I could see the Jets drafting Mendoza, right? I could see them doing that. Fano go 1, Mendoza go 2. I could see that because New York starting from scratch. Logically though, they traded their last best 2 defensive players, and then they just traded their third best defensive player a few days ago. And that was being Sauce Gardner, cornerback, Quentin Williams, defensive tackle, and now Jermaine Johnson, defensive end. They've traded all of them. So going defense right here definitely is the logical choice for sure. But they pick again at 16. So they could say, hey, we could go for the best offensive player and then come back at 16 and get the best defensive player. The Jets could do that, right? So I can see them going Mendoza here if Mendoza don't go 1. Definitely. I could see them saying, hey, Garrett Wilson is the only one we got, and we don't got nobody to go with him. And Carnell Tate, we compare the Old State game back up and see what it do. Because they still got Justin Fields. And regardless how people try to bag on Justin Fields, what was raw about it is Justin Fields wasn't the reason they was losing. He just didn't have who was he getting the ball to? And then whoever was calling the plays, they didn't believe in the other players either because they wasn't really calling them a lot of, you know what I'm saying? Like it was weird, man. I don't know. Aaron Glenn, man, you got to get you a established offensive caller, bruh. You need you a dog back there calling them plays, man. So that would be my advice. Get you a real. I ain't saying old dude ain't real. I'm just saying like you might need you an upgrade there. Justin a dog, bro. I don't know why. Whatever. Anyway, like I said, the Jets could go, but they could go offensive lineman too, right? They could. I don't think two offensive linemen going 1 and 2 though. But I'm gonna say Mendoza go 2, right? Fano go 1, Mendoza go 2. And Fano go 1 because somewhere during free agency, the Raiders either sign Malik Willis or they trade for Anthony Richardson. And that's their young quarterback that they can come in because it was rumored that the Raiders don't want to start a rookie week 1. But I don't know if they want to start Geno Smith. They would rather him be the backup. So if you got some young guys and that's already been in the league that's got some talent, they probably better than the quarterbacks in this draft starting off. So I say Fano go 1 right to the Raiders. Mendoza goes 2 to the Jets, right? Boom. Now you get to 3. Now, in my opinion, Jeremiah Love fits right here, right? I've been saying for years, Arizona needs to get Kyler Murray a running back. Y'all got that little dude back there and you want him to do most of the running, get him a real running back. If you get him somebody who he could run, who could take the pressure off that backfield, you feel me? They got a bunch of receivers over there. Trey McBride fire on the tight end side. Like they got some little weapons over there. So let's say Jeremiah go there. Or let's just say, I mean, they got some receivers, but they don't got a 1, right? And I don't think they offensive line is the greatest either. But let's just say Jeremiah Love go there, right? I'm not gonna put Love right. Now you at 4 with the Titans. The Titans only got Cam Ward, right? And I think they got a couple players on defense, but on offense they only got Cam Ward. So it would be ideal to put a receiver right there with him, right? So it depends on who the Titans love. And I could see the Titans taking Tate right there, right? I could see them taking Tate right there. So right now, Fano off the board at the tackle from Utah. Fernando Mendoza off the board. Fano 1 to the Raiders. Mendoza 2 to the Jets. Jeremiah Love 3 to the Cardinals. Carnell Tate 4 to the Titans, right? And then you got the Giants, right? Hardball over there. You know what I mean? They got a little something over there. You know, Cam Scatterboo gonna come back. They got something with him and Tracy Jr. They got Jackson Dart that they drafted last year. You got Malik Neighbors, Wandale Robinson, the other receiver is a free agency. I ain't really sure about their tight end room though. But you know, I can see them going offensive lineman. Because they don't got no receiver. They got a receiver, or I could see them trying to pair Makai Lemon with Neighbors, right? You get Makai Lemon with Neighbors, Scatterboo, Jackson Dart. Now you talking about a fully fledged offense, right? Boom. So let's say Makai Lemon goes there for fun. We're gonna say for fun, Makai Lemon. So the first 5 picks off the board is Fano to the Raiders, Mendoza, quarterback to the Jets, running back Love to the Cardinals, wide receiver Tate to the Titans, wide receiver Lemon to the Giants. So now it's only 11 players on offense in the top, right? So now we talk about the Browns at 6, and they sitting there with all the defensive players on the board, And they left on offense with Mawagoa, Lamu, right? On the offensive lineman side. Then you got Jordan Tyson, and I think that's it, right? There's two more, but we ain't gonna pick no guard. Guards don't go top 10. That's not what we doing. So now you saying to the Browns, okay, Browns, you sitting there with all the defensive players on the board. What you gonna do? In that respect, so listen, right? Again, people will say, well, Jordan Tyson right there, just take Jordan Tyson. No, I'm not. Because Jordan Tyson not the best player on the board. All them offensive players just went off the board, and the Browns sitting there at 6, and you could pick Bain, Bailey, Downs, Styles, Reese. You got your pick of the litter. Who you taking? Now, I would say this would be contingent on what do the Browns do in free agency, right? Uh, so let's say this: the Browns definitely want to re-sign Devin Bush, and um, they want to re-sign Devin Bush, and JOK is probably not about to be coming back, right? So now you're saying, okay, Miles had 23 sacks. Malik Collins is coming back from injury. Mike Hall Jr. and Mason Graham are another year in advance. Isaiah, you re-sign Alex Wright here, and I hope they re-sign Isaiah McGuire, right? So for the sake of this conversation, they say they did, right? They re-signed McGuire, they re-signed Bush, right? And you're sitting here and you can get your pick of the litter of defensive players. Do you pass up on one of these generational talents? Can you afford to do that? Would you do that? Like, and that's it right there. So you saying, okay, do you feel calls for the pick? Yeah, but how far am I going down? Because just think about it. All the offensive players on the board that I really like is gone. Jordan Tyson's still there. But in this scenario, Jordan Tyson like the seventh or like the sixth or seventh, maybe seventh or eighth best player on the board. Still from this scenario, he's still like the seventh or eighth best player on the board. Sixth, maybe. Right? And this is just my opinion. But I'm saying, are you saying he's better than Styles, Reese, or Downs? Are you saying he's better than Bailey? Are you saying he's better than Bang Jr.? Who you saying he better than? You see what I'm saying? So now if it's me picking right here, I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm high on Caleb Downs. I am so high on Caleb Downs. All right. Um, my offensive players I'm high on as far as Tate and Jeremiah Love are gone. I am high on Malagoa, but I think he a guard. I do. I think he more of a guard, or he a right tackle. And if I'm picking in the top 10, I'm not picking a right tackle. I need a left tackle. Caleb Lamu, do I take him right there? Do I do that? But that means I just passed up on every defensive player on the board. I cannot pass up on every defensive player. Clearly, it's meant for me at 6 to pick a defensive player. So the question is, who do you want? And I think for me, it will boil down to the Ohio State group. It will either be I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I might take Sonny Styles. And I'm gonna tell you why I might take Sonny Styles. Because I don't know if this new defensive coordinator is going to stay at a 4-2-5 or he's going to run a traditional 4-3. The concept of the defense is not going to change, but the way he utilizes the personnel will. And Sonny Styles is big enough and fast enough to virtually play outside linebacker and in the box safety, right? But in saying that, too, and thinking about it, then that's like, damn, you got double the whammy for Grad Delpit. And then what you gonna do about free safety? Well, technically, we could bring Ronnie Hickman back. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. But I ain't gonna even lie. If you could get Martin Emerson back on some good money, you could bring him back and let him try to play safety too. Why not? You just need a ball hawk back there, somebody who's gonna be back there and don't let nothing get behind the defense. Be an eraser. I'm saying you in the league, everybody develop their game all the time. You got two guys that you could put right there, but you get another thumper down there. Now you could get Arvell Reese, right? And Arvell Reese could play rush. You know what I'm saying? He could play in, or he could play or linebacker right there on the outside. But Sonny Styles can cover. So now you got a guy that can cover, a guy that could rush, or a guy that could just play in space and play sideline to sideline. I like Caleb Downs for sure. And, impulsively, I would have definitely said him first. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, yeah, we could just take Caleb Downs right there. And then, but I don't know, man. I like linebacker. Like, my favorite two positions on the football field has always been running back and middle linebacker. We got to fire middle linebacker in Schleswig. You know what I'm saying? Devin Bush still young and he gonna be cool. But let's just say they do want to run a three linebacker system. Then Styles fit. Because now you got a guy that can cover tight ends. You know what I'm saying? And you could really use Dale Pitt on the box safety side. You know what I'm saying? Because you got multiple guys that can cover. All your linebackers can cover. Now you got three solid linebackers that's backing up Myles Garrett and that young defensive. Thought that defense was crazy. That defense would go crazy. So I'm saying if it's me, yeah, I'm gonna hang my hat on Styles because all of them available. Now, if it was a little different, I probably would take Caleb Downs though for sure because I like Downs, and I feel like putting Downs with Grant Delpit, you could alternate them. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes Downs could play in the box and Grant could play in space. And then sometimes Grant could play in the box and Caleb could play in space. You feel what I'm saying? And now you got parents at every level. You got two safeties, you got two linebackers, you got two corners, you got, you know what I'm saying, two defensive tackles, you got two ends. Like you got in every aspect, you got at least two bona fide starters. That's fire. You know what I'm saying? People like, well, the defense already. Well, listen, hey, defense win championships. So if we build a championship team and the universe made it fit that when we got on the board, it was all defensive players there, top rated, they should probably take the defensive player. You know what I'm saying? Whichever one you take, you winning. Whichever one they take. If they take David Bailey, they winning. It don't really matter. I wouldn't take him right there, though. I wouldn't. I mean, like I said, I'm higher on David Bailey than I was, but I don't think David Bailey a top 10 pick. I don't think he's a top 10 pick. Then top 20, top 15, somewhere between 15 and 20. Anywhere after 15 is fire for Bailey. Anything before 15, though, I don't know, man, because I think he gonna need a little more development than was being given credit for. I could be wrong. I was wrong about his stock, so I could be wrong. But even like I said, I still think it's still good. But they go Reese, that's another linebacker. They go Styles, that's another linebacker. You know what I'm saying? Plus a guy that you can move all over the field, which is basically I feel like that piece need to be though. And I think that's another reason why I go with Styles, because I can move him all over the field and he's 6'5". He basically like my Harold Fannin on defense, right? Because on the Harold Fannin on offense side, I don't want him to be the traditional tight end. I want him to be the guy that they move around and create mismatches. You know what I'm saying? Slot, outside, fullback, second tight end, motion guy. Yeah, every time I move him, I'm creating a mismatch for sure. So I think I think the Browns, for the most part, though, are in a really good position. Uh, I think they're in a really good position because you got a guy leading your team that is really knowledgeable up in the game. And I know I've been saying it, and multiple other people have been saying it. I've heard that the Browns need a real football mind in that building. And Todd Monken is one of the top football minds in the game right now. So check that box. Coaching staff in place, and you was able to retain quite a few key position coaches. Check that bodes well. Now you focus on the roster. And first things first, resign your own. So in my mind, Devin Bush, Isaiah McGuire, Ronnie Hickman all get re-signed. I think Muhammad Diabite, I think his contract might be up, so he might get re-signed. Probably don't be nothing too extravagant. Still developmental. You still got the Nathaniel Watson guy, so we might get to see more of him and see what he turned into. Um, and then on the defensive line, I don't know. They might try to work out an extension for Malik Collins. He played good last year, and even though he's coming off injury, they might still want to keep him for a couple seasons. So we can see how that works. Um, and Ronnie Hickman and Martin Emerson, maybe. I don't know. It could be over with for Martin. I ain't gonna lie. And if they do move on from Martin Emerson, I ain't tripping. I like the Donovan McMillan cat that we had picked up on a free undrafted free agency side. I think he's gonna be nice. Um, so then you come back at 24, and then you got 39 for the Browns. So say they go Sonny Styles. Say in that scenario they go Sonny Styles at 6. Then when you come back to 24 and 39, you just go offense, right? Because it's gonna be that second tier of offensive players, and it's gonna be a nice little runoff for offensive players when you get around that time, right? Looking at the big board, right? By the time you get down here, it's gonna be another guard, the one from where was he from? Penn State. Loam. Caleb Lamoon might still be on the board there at 24. And then you got boom quarterback Tom Simpson 27 rated. You got offensive lineman Caden Proctor, Monroe Freeland, rated right there. Um, you got Omar Cooper Jr., Malachi Fields, Zachariah Branch, Casey Conception, Chris Brazel. On the offensive side. Um, but it's a lot of defensive guys here too. So again, and me seeing this just got me more thinking about how a run of offensive players could go at the beginning of the draft. So you know what though? I don't got nothing against Jordan Tyson, bro, but and then his brother played for our squad too, though. So play for the Cavs. So having that sibling connection might be fire, but that's just not he like my third or fourth receiver. He definitely like my fourth or fifth playmaker as far as offensive playmakers. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. But we love this time of year with the draft, right? Because everybody comes up with their mocks, they different scenario, they different logic of why they team should have this player or what fit. And very, among us common folks, we ain't in there getting the tea, as they say, getting the source information of what this GM think or what that coach know. We gotta leave that to the insiders because they the ones at the facilities and what I'm saying, in the rooms and in the position to have these talks. But it's fun. Let's see what we got. Especially when the draft class got some pieces in it, then you like, oh, we could do this, we could do that. Wow. It's been trade scenarios where people say the Browns should trade back. I will say this. Any scenario that allows the Browns to get 3 first-round picks this season and still keep their second-round pick, I'm probably for. Like, if you telling me the Raiders, I mean the was it the Cowboys want to trade the 12 and the 20th pick for the 6th pick. I'm gonna need a couple more picks, but I probably gonna consider that more than I would. Especially if the scenario pops up the way it just did, I might trade back. Because at that point, 12 and 20, between 12 and 24 is a hot spot. And you could probably luck up and get some quality pieces there. Especially if you want to go, 2 offensive linemen, right? Let's just say you want to say, well, fuck it. I want to get a whole left side, right? And, at 12 and 20, we can definitely 12, 20, and 24, we can definitely get a whole left side. Um, I, just, I ain't gonna lie though. I don't want to move from 6 though. Just take at 6, just take a player. Just take whoever the best player on the board at 6, man. I want Jeremiah Love or Carnell Tate. I actually want them both. If there's a way for the Browns to get Jeremiah Love and Carnell Tate, that's my dream scenario for the first round. Period. Period, point blank. The Browns being able to get Jeremiah Love and Carnell Tate. Because, okay, I get this feedback all the time, right? Well, Gwinshawn Junkins a dog. And why would you draft a running back top 10? Okay. I like Junkins. I like Junkins a lot. I'm not high on Dylan Sampson. I think he's serviceable. And I still think he's developmental, right? Um, Junkins is coming off of injury. On top of that, whichever quarterback I start, right, whether it's Watson or whether it's Shador, I still play in the AFC North. And in the AFC North, you got to be able to run the ball in this weather. All right? New developments in technology, new discoveries with CTE and all that. Running backs just ain't about to be taking a pound and they used to take, not just one. This is another thing for running backs by committee, so they can share the pounding because it's rough playing that position. So we already see if we start trying to run Junkins too much, we're going to mess him up. Go ahead and get that running back by committee. You can play them both at the same time, Junkins and Love. You can split Love out wide. Jeremiah Love is the best playmaker on the board. For a team that's rebuilding their offense, that's got pieces, but not necessarily one you could build around. Because I'm going to ask you, is Junkins a piece that you could build a championship offense around? Right? Is he? Impulsively, without thinking. Is Quinshon Junkins a piece you can build an championship offense around? Is Judy, right? Is Harold Fannin? Is Isaiah Bond, right? If you're hesitant or you're saying no, then guess what? You're in play for the best playmaker on the board, regardless of position, right? The best playmaker could be a tight end. It could be Sadiq. It could be Ken Sadiq. If it is, it is. But your offense needs to be built around a guy who can score touchdowns at will from anywhere on the field. Anytime this guy touched the ball, he can break it. That is the guy you build your offense around. All right. Now, if your quarterback just so happen to be that guy, Lamar Jackson type guy, then bet. But everybody ain't hip. Everybody's not, man. And I just love we're gonna fire here. He'll make everybody else better, in my opinion. But him and Tate, woo! Just Browns, I'm just saying, Andrew Berry and Todd Monken, if you guys can find a way to get Jeremiah Love and Carnell Tate out this first round, that would be everything. Those are the two guys. I don't care how you got to pull it off. Well, I do care because I'm not sacrificing Denzel or Miles or Grant. No. Parting ways. No. We can work out something else. But if you could get Tate and Love, this offense will be crazy. With that being said, man, I just spent the hour on football. Football my first love, man. I can run about football. DeeTrynt, Game Changer Sports Talk, Industry Sports, streaming on multiple social and media platforms: Facebook, Twitch, YouTube. Follow us on IG at Industry Sports or at DeeTrynt. If you miss the live streams, you can catch the replays on Spotify and various other streaming platforms. So look for the Industry Sports channel, like, subscribe, share, follow. Once you get in there, you'll see Game Changer Sports Talk with yours truly, DeeTrynt. Make sure you do the same thing. It's basketball time, right? Football gone. Baseball ain't started up yet. Basketball is definitely running it. Basketball, golf, and because it's 2026, it's what's left of the Winter Olympics. We got a few games today, right? Spurs play the Knicks at 1. Cavs play the Nets at 3. Bucks play the Bulls at 3. Timberwolves play the Nuggets at 3. Grizzlies play the Pacers at 5. Trailblazers play the Hawks at 6. Pistons play the Magic at 6. 76ers play the Celtics at 8. And Thunder play the Mavericks. Oh, wait. At 8. Clippers play the Pelicans at 9. And the Kings play the Lakers at 9:30. So Sunday is stacked. Oh, I'm talking about it's games everywhere. So, hey, basketball smacking right now, and it's real. So in the Eastern Conference, you got Detroit 1 at 44-14, Boston Celtics 2 at 39-20, New York 38-22, Cleveland Cavaliers 37-24, Toronto 35-25, and Philly is 33-26. Those are the 6 playoff teams in order. And right now with the current standings, and they about 58, almost 60 games in. The Cavs in Detroit had a hell of a game the other day, and the Cavs didn't play Harden, they didn't play Mitchell, they didn't play Allen, no Matt Strus, and Detroit won in overtime. It took y'all overtime to beat. Oh no, I think Jared Allen did play that game. Did Jared Allen play that game? I thought he was out that game, but let me make sure. No, Jared Allen did play. Okay, yeah, no, Jared Allen did play. I thought about it. I was about to say, I'm like, wait, but Jared Allen had like 20. Yeah, he played. All right, it just was no Harden and no Mitchell, which is a good thing though, right? Because you need the other players to get used to feeding the bigs, and adapting to this style. Um, Schroeder had like 8 turnovers. He was bugging. Um, Craig Porter, man, I like Craig Porter Jr. I don't care. I like Craig Porter Jr. He a dog, man. He a dog, man. He had 12 assists off the bench. Um, Mobley had 23 and 12. Allen had 25 and 9. Sam Merrill had 20. Schroeder had 12. Tyson had 15. Them 8 turnovers by Schroeder was crazy though. But you know, Jalen Duren had 33 and 16 though. 33 and 16. Yo. Hey, Jalen Duren is a dog, bruh. He is a dog. 33 and 16, bruh. Hey, when I seen that today, that night, bruh, I was bugging. I was bugging. Bruh, I almost hit. Oh my God. Oh my God. K only dropped 25 though. But if he'd have played the overtime, he'd have probably dropped 30 because I had him for 30. Uh, but I did have him for assists. I had Craig Porter for a bunch of assists. I had Mobley. Yeah, I had Mobley and Allen. Yep. Everybody hit except for K. Everybody except K. Who's upset? Upset. But Darren a dog, man. I ain't gonna lie. He a dog. But it led me to believe that we could take Detroit. That's kind of where I was going with this. Like the Cavs could take Detroit, and because this team is already battle tested, James Harden new to the team, but he battle tested. Schroeder new to the team, but he battle tested. Keon Ellis is about the only green one. He the only one on this roster who ain't battle tested. Everybody else that been through something. Heartbreak, loss, good seasons, bad finishes. Everybody that been through something. So I think the Cavs are primed, man. I think the Cavs might win the ship this year, yo. I ain't gonna hold you. I know the West is nice. Excuse me. I know the West nice. The West got some dogs, but the Cavs can beat any one of them teams. And it don't matter what West team you talking about. The Cavs are built on the 7-game series size right now. They could beat any one of them teams because Harden can get you 1 or 2 games. Mitchell could get you 1 or 2 games. You only need 4, right? Mobley and Allen can get you 1 or 2 games. You got a bench that could definitely come through. So I like the Cavs. Excuse me. I like the Cavs. I like what the Cavs possibly could do right now, man. I'm excited. I ain't gonna even hold you. Dean Wade getting on the rebounds. Keep getting on the rebounds, Dean. You know, you gonna play your defense. You know what I'm saying? You gotta make it your thing to hit every open look you get. Every open look you get count. You gotta hit it. And you gotta play aggressive. If you're gonna shoot it, shoot it. Don't be sitting there debating on if you should shoot it. Shoot it. Shoot it with confidence, man. But get on them boards. We gonna need people on them boards. Tomlin, keep getting on them boards. Tyson, keep hitting them boards. Merrill, you need handles. Merrill, you need to be able to hit jumpers off the dribble. You need some handles. If you had some handles, NBA. And if you do it, you just not using them, that's making me mad. But I mean, the rest of the league look good. You know, OKC and Denver had that falling out the other day. And I think the Cavs will take everybody. Bro, I am high on these Cavs with Harden, man. We can play up tempo. We can play half court. Bro, right now, what's stopping us from being a shoe-in, though, is Mobley. And he not stopping us in a negative way. What I'm saying is, when it all clicked for him with this team, Cavs gonna be unbeatable. Because Mobley gonna realize he always open. That's what Mobley got. You always open, bro. When you catch that joint in the mid range, you open. You just got to be able to play on your pivot. Get it, spin on the face up. You can knock that down. Jab. Melo was the bet. Melo was the GOAT at that. I think I'm about to build me a Melo type player too. Melo was the GOAT. As far as that mid-range post game, Melo's the GOAT. Melo could fade away, back you down, footwork, face up, jab, shot, jab, dribble, step back, jab, dribble, spin to the cut. Man, tap it back up, go back up for his own rebound. Like, bruh! You don't really love me like you say you do. So I like I like what the Cavs did, man. And the more and more I see them play, the more and more I'm liking it. It's definitely some teams out here who gonna make it hard for the Cavs. Oh, caught Stephen A. talking about his Knicks, right? And how they traded 5 first-round picks for Mikal Bridges, and he not coming through. And I think that's valid. My bad. I ain't gonna even lie, that's valid. We traded 6 first-round picks for Donovan Mitchell. And you see what Donovan Mitchell was doing. They traded 5 picks for Mikal Bridges, and I'll never remember him averaging 20 for them the whole time he been there. So everybody keep trying to put stuff on Carl Anthony Towns, but I feel like, hold on. My fault, y'all. Okay, there we go. My bad. I done hit the wrong button trying to hit the unmute. So, yeah, though. Boston playing really good. Like I say, New York, all right. Toronto, lightweight, got a chance, though. Like I said, they got a team full of hoopers. You know what I'm saying? But I was saying I expect them to fall. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, so Orlando is at 7. Miami is at 8. Charlotte and Atlanta is at 9 and 10. I said Charlotte and Atlanta could do something. It's all about that top 8. I don't know. Toronto been winning some games though. And Philly gonna slide though. Orlando, Miami been playing. Miami trying to do something. Miami trying to do something. They got a little squad over there. I don't know why. Like I said, I don't know why they not better, but the league done got in the habit of playing people out of position, man, and that's lightweight messing it up, in my opinion. Because Bam Adebayo is a 4, man. He should ever be playing a 4, no 5. He a 4. You got him and Khalil Ware down there. They should just be going crazy. Then you got Wiggs, you got Hero, you got Norman Powell. But I don't like Hero as a point guard. He a 2. Um, I like the idea of him and Norman Powell rotating that 2 position because I don't think Norman Powell is a 3, even though he's playing a 3. I think he's a 2. Get you buckets, play strong, play tough. You know what I'm saying? But hey, the NBA, I think March, I ain't gonna lie. I think March about to be fire for the NBA. I genuinely think March about to go bonkers for the NBA, man. I mean, we is about to get as a basketball fan, I think it's about to be epic. I think it's about to be epic. With that being said, man, let me go. I've been rocking with y'all for like an hour and a half early on this beautiful Sunday morning. I had some off time. I was able to get some rest. So I really just been, you know, in these times right now, I'm just getting up here sharing my thoughts with y'all, my outlook, you know what I'm saying, things that have been rattling in my brain, you know what I'm saying, in between, you know, the last time I see y'all and the next time I see y'all. Like, this is how I be working. And, you know, I need to hear this stuff because I swear I don't be tripping. Wimbyana, man. Wimbyana, animal. Ant going crazy. Shea coming back. Jokic on his ding. I don't know if Portland gonna try to surge or not, but it's looking crazy. Why y'all doing Brown like that? Hold on. Before I slide, hold on. Hey man, y'all gotta stop disrespecting LeBron, man. Y'all doing the most. Come on, man. 23 years, man, y'all still disrespecting this man. Oh my God. Listen, I don't know if I shared this with y'all on the last one, but I was chopping it with one of my peoples and we was talking about LeBron coming back, right? And up until this year, I was opposed to him coming back. But I'm saying ideal scenario, the Cavs win the championship this year, LeBron come back next year. I heard a report. Hold on. Okay. I seen a report that said that for LeBron's farewell tour, that it's a company willing to pay him 75 to 100 million just for that, just to follow him for that year. So if he want to get paid top dollars for a season, he don't got to get it from the NBA, right? He can opt out of his contract. I'm cool with LeBron doing his farewell tour in Cleveland. I think it makes the most sense. And I just like it for what's going on now, right? I love it. But whoever I was talking to, I gotta remember who I was talking to. I might even talk to my brother. But we was talking about they could just go ham, right? And you could bring back Bron, you could bring back Kevin Love, and you could bring back Kyrie. Bruh, Kyrie off the bench for Harden, right? Because you could trade Schroeder and Strus. You could trade that contract to Dallas and probably get Kyrie right quick. So now you got the backcourt with Donovan, Kyrie, and Harden. You feel me? But I don't know. Well, yeah, I don't know. Kyrie contract. I don't think he getting 40. I think he getting like 30. Is it? Yeah, I think he getting like 30. But then, you know, you can either keep Dance or let Dance walk. And then you can let Caleb play that vet role down there. You feel me? And bring back the old big three with this new squad. Hey, I know that's like far-fetched out of pocket. But for LeBron farewell tour, that'll be fire. You get LeBron back on the veteran minimum. So you got all your bread. You could trade your only real trade to be trading for Kyrie. And then you and Harden can work something out to where, you know, man, that'll be on the man, that squad would be crazy. What? But I love K Love with them because K Love a rebounder. And he'd probably love to be back in Cleveland. K Love will probably retire too. It'll probably be the Bron and K Love retirement tour. You feel me? You get Kyrie back in the mix. Older, more mature, back playing in Cleveland. Ooh! Ooh! And then at the end of the year, you retire their numbers. You feel me? No, Kyrie cool. But I think Kyrie only got like 2 years left on his deal. He might even got 1. But I ain't gonna lie, the old big three with this squad for Cleveland on the farewell tour side for a repeat championship, fire scenario. I'm saying this is all contingent that the Cavs win the ship this year. So that way when LeBron come back, we ain't gotta hear that BS of y'all can only win with Bron. No. It just lined up. It lined up that we won the ship, and then it's Bron last year. You get him over here. You can bring Bronny too. Bring Bronny. That's cool. Bronny might as well come up at the house. You might as well. Yeah, come on home, bruh. Come on, eat. You feel me? You good. You know you gonna eat at home. Don't even worry about it. Hey. Oh, that we got to talk about that scenario, man. That'd be crazy. And the farewell tour gonna be, they gonna be clowning on the repeat side. What, bruh? I might have to keep talking that into existence, bruh. I might have to keep talking that into existence, bruh. I ain't gonna hold you. Cavs champions. Bron come back for the retirement tour. Cavs trade for Kyrie. It'll be Matt Strus and Dennis Schroeder. You feel me? And then K Love gonna be a free agent anyway, so he gonna come back. You feel me? I think it's last year on Kyrie deal. Is it? Did he just sign an extension? I don't know. I gotta look that up, man. I gotta look that up. I gotta look that shit. Hold on. You know what I mean? Like, all right, y'all. With that being said, let me go ahead and get to the rest of my day. DeeTrynt Game Changer Sports Talk, Industry Sports, streaming on multiple social and media platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. Follow us on IG at Industry Sports or at DeeTrynt. If you missed the live streams, you can catch the replays on Spotify and various other streaming platforms. Just look for the Industry Sports channel, like, subscribe, share, follow. Once you get in there, you will see Game Changer Sports Talk with yours truly, DeeTrynt. Man, y'all be safe, be cool. Hope the weather good in your area, man. Enjoy your Sunday. Let's go, Cavs.